Welcome back to another episode of Just Because You Can Doesn't Mean You Should. That's my curry. Yep, so today I've got another power bank with me, and this is from a company called ALLPOWERS. This is the R1500 power bank, and usually I'll wait till the end of the video to tell you the price, but this is very, very good value for money indeed. So I'm going to tell you right now. Now this comes in at $699.99 and it's currently on offer. So that is why it's such a good price. They're meant to be $969.99, and to be fair, that is a normal sort of ballpark price for a power bank of this capacity. Most companies are around the £1,000 mark that offer the capacity that this does. So to get it at $699.99 at the moment is an absolute bargain. Now the capacity of this power bank is 1,152 watt hours, which probably doesn't mean a great deal to most of you. But if I put it into some form of context, because I've used a lot of power banks in the past, I've filmed a few, but I also use them in my everyday life because, as some of you will know, I actually live in a van with my partner, so these things are a bit of a necessity. That microwave is about 900 watts. In theory, you can probably run that for about an hour with the battery capacity that this power bank has. So if you break that down a little bit more, say an average ready meal takes 3 minutes to warm up, then that will give you, in theory, about 20 ready meals, which could be 20 meals on the bank, so it could last you 20 nights if you were just doing a ready meal each day. Capacity is different to the actual power output that it has. So this has a power output of 1800 watts. So again, using the microwave in this scenario, in theory, you can just about run two 900 watt microwaves side by side. Some microwaves are less. That's irrelevant because you're not going to have two microwaves on the bank with you. This is purely to show just how powerful this sort of system actually is. So again, to put even more into context, as I say, you can run up to 1800 watts. At the moment, I've got my MacBook charging, I've got my boss's wife's tablet charging, and I've got this fridge running, and it's using 89 watts out of a potential 1800. If we use this coffee machine, then we'll see again how much more wattage it's going to end up using. The way this coffee machine works, it kind of surges power, so it will vary between the 89 watts that we've been using up to about 1450 watts. There we go, coming out perfectly. And that's saying when it's at its full 1450 watts, it's given about 27 minutes left of power. So again, another analogy, because this video needs analogies. If a coffee takes about a minute to produce, then in theory, I can get another 28 coffees out of this 66% battery. So that's going to give you about 40 coffees over the course of a full battery. So now that's done, now that's finished, it's gone back to 88 watts. So we're actually saving a watt, which is great. But let's move on to the ports. So as you will see on the front, is pretty much all the ports that you could ever want. You've got 4 main 240 volt sockets, and that's your standard household 3-pin socket. And it's these sockets which allow you the up to 1800 watts of power. That's not 1800 watts on each socket, that's a combined total that this power bank can give out. You've then got 2 USB-C ports, and these are actually 100 watt per port, which is really impressive. They're basically power delivery ports, which is what's allowing me to charge the MacBook directly from USB-C. Usually you've got a big converter kind of block, which you need to plug into mains, and then it ends up using a bit more power than what it should do. But by doing it that way, firstly, you don't have to bring it with you, but secondly, it's only using the power that it needs to use to actually charge the MacBook. So that's really handy. You've then got a couple of USB-A ports as well. Not that many things are using USB-A anymore, but things like head torches, some of the older ones are still doing that, bivvy lights, things like that. So you can charge them from there. And then you've got a 12 volt socket. There's not loads of things that use them, but potentially if you're charging up or blowing up an inflatable boat, or some of the heated sleep systems that you can get actually use the 12 volt sockets. So that's really handy to have. And then on top of the power bank, there's actually 2 wireless charging pads, I guess. But like I say, it's not just a fishing situation. You're going to be using something like this. Like I mentioned earlier, we use it in the van all the time, or something very similar, which has the same output, same capacity, and we'd be absolutely lost without it. We pretty much do all our cooking through our air fryer through this, because the system in the van that we've got doesn't allow such a high wattage output. So we'd just be tripping our electrics every time we plug in the air fryer. So that is where something like this really does come into its own. You can run power tools off it. Yeah, I think you'd be hard pushed to really overload it unless you're using 4 microwaves, which, let's be honest, you're probably not even going to be using one. All of this is just to show what can be done, not what should be done. But I mentioned earlier about charging it, and it is very quick to charge. It actually charges to 80% in just 45 minutes. So it's the sort of thing that you don't have to worry about charging it the night before a session or anything like that. You can chuck it on charge whilst you get all your kit in your van, and then it's going to be near enough fully loaded by the time you're actually pulling away. But it can be charged on the bank as well, and that is what really stands out about this. This can take up to 650 watts of solar. If you're putting 650 watts of solar into this, it actually charges in 2 hours, which to charge that amount of power in 2 hours completely off grid, I think is pretty impressive. Now, I've actually got a 200 watt solar panel with me today, and we've been playing around, we've been moving it around to try and get full sun, and it works really well. Obviously, it's going to charge a lot slower than if it was charging through mains, but if it's the sort of thing that you just want to top it up during the day and then you've got that capacity for the night to cook your ready meal or whatever, it's a really useful addition to buy with it. And of course, the solar panel is from ALLPOWERS too, so you can find that on the website, and just like the power bank, it is on sale at the moment. So I think that's enough of an overview. I think you've probably had enough analogies for one day, but if you want to find out more information about this power bank, then like I say, head over to the ALLPOWERS website where you can find all the individual specs and things like that. Like I said earlier, this is the 𝗲1500. So yeah, type that into Google and then this will come up, or if you click the link below, we have a link directly to the power bank. But like I say, at the moment, at $699.99, it is an absolute bargain. So make sure you check it out. Thanks for watching this video, and I'm going to enjoy my coffee. Wow. That rivals an AeroPress coffee. That's quite nice.